Hey guys, Mix here, and in today's video, we are not working on the RM, the NASCAR, the quad, or anything. We're working on something different. Today, we're working on my United Motors DTF 150. As some of you guys may know, this was my first dirt bike. Not a mini bike, but it was my first dirt bike. This is, what I learned clutch on and everything, so me and this bike go way back. But obviously, this thing is not in great shape. Definitely needs some fixing up. Some of you may also know that it smokes like crazy. The top end, ever since I bought this thing, has been totally shot on it. But I never really got to see this bike. I got to ride it like every couple months. But every time between those months, it would start pretty much right up when I would go see it. So it was pretty reliable. And notice how I said was is because I'm pretty sure it's completely blown up by now. I can't get this thing to run at all. And I think it's finally time to do the top end rebuild on it. Probably like 2 years ago, I tried doing the top end when I first bought it. I believe it was this bolt I took off and something under the valve cover. And I thought I, blew up the bike because I literally did not know what I was doing. So I put back on those bolts and literally just rode it how it was, totally smoking out like everywhere. It was pretty bad. Whenever you would stop riding it, you would just smell like oil like crazy. You would literally have to shower after riding the bike or even just starting it. But today begins the little fix up. This isn't really gonna be a build series, probably just gonna be a couple videos of just doing the top end rebuild and just making this dirt bike look way nicer. It's definitely got potential. I'm probably gonna swap out all the plastics and everything, see what I can do for a seat. I made this seat a couple years ago just because I used to be sitting on just straight plastic. So that wasn't that comfortable. But first, I just want to start off with getting this thing running right. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to see the carnage inside of this cylinder. I mean, I can already tell some of the carnage is just coming out of here. The whole head gasket is completely blown. There's oil everywhere. The exhaust is just filled with oil. Literally, there's a puddle of oil. So I'm actually really excited to see how this piston looks. This bike probably still has the factory piston in it, so I'm really excited to see how this looks. So let's get into working. First thing I'm gonna do is pull off the gas tank. I'm gonna try and pull it off because when I was making the seat, I kind of like bolted down the seat to the gas tank, and the bolt is under this cushion, so I'm just gonna try and rip it off. And also one more thing, the compression on this is pretty much gone. Yeah, it's pretty much completely done. So as I just said, let me pull off that gas tank so we have more room to work around the engine. Then once that's off, we'll start ripping apart this motor. Oh, that's nice. No bolts at all. We're holding on the gas tank. That's probably the quick release gas tank feature. From factory, they probably installed that feature onto the bike. So I'll show you all what I was talking about. I really didn't plan this through while making this seat, but the bolt, hopefully you guys can see it. Yeah, is right there, and the head of it is in here. So I might just have to like lift it up and have the handlebars hold it up while I take apart the engine. I don't need to take it off just because, as long as I could just reach in here, then that's fine. The frame is right there anyway, so I'll just move the gas tank as high as I possibly can without snapping the seat in half. And then I think we should have enough room to pull off all of the parts of the engine. So I just went ahead and just pulled the plastic just so we have more room on this side, just by a little bit. But what I'm going to go ahead and do first is pull off the valve cover. Then I'll go ahead and just pull off the carburetor from its boot, then work our way from there. Wow, there's really no seal on there at all. The valves look pretty good. Here's a closer look at the valves. Everything in here looks pretty good, so that's a good sign. Alright, so the carb is off and pushed to the side. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is pull off the exhaust, take out this engine mount bolt, then all the little head bolts inside. Then the head should be off, and then that one side one. But then once it's off, we'll be able to see the piston and see the carnage. And also, look at that. Look at all that oil and that like exhaust leak was leaking out of there. That is so much. But once that new top end is in, which I haven't found one yet for this bike, but I'm sure there's some out there. It should be a fun little ripper. When it was running and riding, it was pretty fun. It was actually pretty quick for, how bad the top end was at the time. And now it's even worse. But I guess we'll just see how it turns out. So the whole header fell off from the muffler. So I guess that'll explain why it would smoke out the side so bad as well. So this bolt's super tight, so I'm going to use my exhaust as a breaker bar. Oh yeah, that works great. I'm pretty sure that the whole head is ready to come off. I don't think you need to take off any of those 3 bolts or anything. I'm pretty sure that they're just for the valves. But I'll go ahead and try and tug on it and see if the gasket will break. Oh, I just stuck my hand directly in the exhaust hole. So I couldn't get it to break the seal just by tugging on it. So I'm just gonna take a little rubber mallet and just lightly hit it just to try and break it. So as I was just hitting this, and I was like just being like super dumbfounded of how this head gasket was so strongly on there even when it was still blown, I went ahead and came around to the other side and I saw 1, 2 more head bolts which are under the valve. So I'm probably gonna have to go ahead, take off the whole entire top of the valves in order to get to them. I'll do that quick and then it should be able to come off. So I'm not gonna record it because it's probably not that entertaining to just watch me taking off bolts, but I'll catch you guys back once it's ready to come off. There's our exhaust push rod. Here's the intake push rod. Alrighty, now it is time. Let's see if it'll come off. Oh yeah. Ugh, man, this thing does not want to come off. Man, the seal's broken. It's completely off of the cylinder, but I just cannot get it to pull up all the way. So it's like 5 minutes later, and I've just been going back and forth with the rubber mallet. Stupid me, I just realized that the motor mount was hitting the intake boot, so I guess I gotta take that off. So I'll do that quick, and then the head will be off. The boot is off. Now, it should be able to come off. Oh, here we go. All right, moment of truth. What does this piston look like? Oh. Okay. All right, here comes the piston. All right, there's the piston. Honestly, to be honest, the piston isn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I mean, it is pretty bad, but I thought it was just gonna be covered. Now I guess what we're gonna do is take off the cylinder and see how the side skirt looks and the rings. So the only 2 bolts I'm seeing that are keeping the cylinder on is these 2. So I'll take that off and I think that's it. So now that those 2 bolts are off, now let's see what the rest of the piston looks like. All right, not bad. So here's a closer look at the piston, and I am honestly impressed. It really doesn't look that bad. The cylinder is super oily, and it does look like that there is like some like rust in there, so I'm definitely gonna have to go ahead and wipe that all out and then hone it a little bit just so we can get the surface nice and smooth once again. Then over here on the valves, I don't see any type of valve leak or anything. I don't see daylight coming through them or anything, so that's a good sign. I could try and dump some liquid down there and see if it leaks through, but I mean, how it is, it looks pretty good. Just super sooty. I'm gonna have to go ahead and clean that up as well with that nasty exhaust port. There's definitely lots of cleaning to do. I'll go ahead, take out the C-clip and the wrist pin and go ahead and pull it out. So here's a closer look at the piston, and honestly, I don't see any visual damage at all. I don't feel any, bumps or scars or anything, but I guess it just went bad, unless it's something else that's making it smoke, which I really hope it's not. And I doubt it. I'm sure this is the issue. Super easy to get out, and this engine, design, I've never seen that before. I guess that's the cam right there or something, and it stays in time with the crank at all times. Like, if you move that cam, then the crank moves with it, so that's kind of cool because I can't, I guess, get out of timing. And also, I just felt the crank bearing, and there is absolutely no up and down movement, which is really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and find a matching piston as that one and order it right away so we can go ahead, slap it back on and get this thing back up running and riding. Then once I know that it is good to go and in running shape once again, I'm gonna go ahead and just clean it up a little bit and it should be ready to ride. Once again, this isn't a build series. It's just a quick little fix-up. But guys, before I end the video, I want to thank you all for 50,000 subscribers. That is awesome. My end of the year goal, as most of you know, was 50,000, and we still have a little bit over a month to go. So I'm really hoping that we could try and hit 75,000 before 2019. It has been a long run all the way up to 50K, and just thank you guys so much for the support and just watching the videos, because without you guys, none of this would be possible. But anyway guys, I'm gonna be ending the video here. Check out my social medias, my Instagram and Snapchat. Those I use the most. They will be on the outro of this video. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, friends, but the channel.